Welcome to ZKast, everyone. I'm Zeus Kerravala from ZK Research. I'm here at AMD Advancing AI. I'm with Savannah Peterson, also known as Savvy. How you been?
I have been excellent. Cannot believe it's been 6 months since I saw you. It's a lifetime in AI land.
It has been a lifetime in AI land. Yeah, well, we just watched the keynote.
We did.
We saw a very bullish Lisa Su talk about raising almost every market that they're in, right? So just any quick immediate thoughts?
Well, a couple things. We saw the Vanna White of chips give...
well, they had a lot of chips.
They had a lot of chips on stage. Vanna, aka Lisa, did not let us down. And I appreciate that because it's very obvious out the gate that they're not just thinking about one particular architecture or just GPUs as a whole. They're thinking about the whole rack. And it's those types of solutions that are going to be more of a holistic AI factory like we're seeing many enterprises as well as public and private industries implement at scale. So, you know, they understand that it's not just a fight for the most powerful chip, but being the most prevalent chip across that factory.
Certainly the most options,
yes,
the easiest to deploy. One of the points she made, and I want to make sure I get the stat right, is that for the first time, she said 60% of global AI compute capacity in 2026 is dedicated to inferencing over training. That obviously, if that number actually is true, I don't know how you verify it or not, certainly helps AMD out as it's really difficult for me to see anybody breaking the stranglehold NVIDIA has on training. But inferencing certainly is a much more wide open market.
You're absolutely right about that, Zeus. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that really actually that's where most of the workloads are going to happen in the future if we're looking at number of workloads, not just performance needs or bandwidth needs for particular workloads. We're going to see inference at the edge, inference with small language models really shoot up as AI finds its traction and its groove within the market. I think that's important. The race just for the most powerful GPU is one that will eventually sort of metal out and flatline as companies get the compute that they need.
Yeah, well, sure. And I think the one thing, and you mentioned this, inferencing at the edge, once the edge comes into play, the edge will be defined by, like, it's everything that's not like your core data center. So you'll have, automobiles become part of the edge, cellular edge, enterprise edge, telco edge. We're going to see compute embedded in everything. In fact, I was talking with Extreme Networks, and they're thinking about the next version of their access point. You could drop a little CPU in there and actually do a lot of analysis on an AP. And so you think about what you could do with that. And so really anything you have that's connected becomes an edge device, right? And so I think from that perspective, it's fair to say that eventually, I don't know if it's today or not, we will have more inferencing than training. Now, what that does from a volume perspective, you're selling more, and this is where the variety of CPUs they have becomes important, right? Because you'll have, not everybody's going to need the latest and greatest, monster CPU to be able to do inferencing like on an access point, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to see a diversified workload. I did think it was interesting. They talked a lot about their EAM, the Enhanced Accelerator Module, this being the highest performance in the industry, a part of the best AI rack in the world, which is Helios, obviously, as the star of the show today. Pretty wild that they can pack 160 pounds of hardware into just a 2-inch tall layer of that rack. I actually got to see it. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it on the floor downstairs. People lining up to take selfies in front of a giant rack. And with an accelerator. But I think that's kind of interesting because we're seeing people get excited really heavily about the hardware that's powering the future. Sure, the big machines being at the forefront, the tip of that spear. But I think that I do think that the CPU is going to play an incredible role in our future. I think you and I were texting about it during the keynote. I think kind of unsung hero of what's happening here is ARM, some of the architecture companies who are not specifically locked into one particular chip manufacturer. I think there's more pie than there are pieces being sliced right now, and I think there's a lot of room for AMD as well as their competitors in the market to grow.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to put it, right? So a rising tide obviously benefits everybody, and so whether AMD winds up with a bigger piece of the rising tide or a smaller piece, I mean, it's going to be a rising tide that lifts all boats. And we saw that back in the internet days when anybody that had anything to do with the internet infrastructure, took off. And I don't think we've hit that inflection point yet.
No.
But certainly it's coming. In fact, that's another number that Lisa Su was very bullish on. She raised the global TAM for accelerators from 500 billion by 2028 to 1.4 trillion by 2030. And certainly they have a very strong position in that market. So, that was good to see. Now, one of the points you brought up and I thought about that after the keynote, was, for all the chatter of AI being able to transform society and businesses, all the customers that Lisa pointed up on stage were the LLMs.
Yes.
Right? And
yes.
it just shows the majority of spend is still going to that market. And, I guess that's good from a financial perspective, but eventually, it'd be nice to see, a bank or,
yes, exactly. I mean, and that's why it struck me, right? When we look at these company-driven innovation showcases and conferences, since I'm here to put the human in tech, I'm looking for that customer story. I'm looking for that edge use case of how this is actually manifesting an ROI for the world, not just satiating LLM companies' needs for compute. Now, we're still not getting to the back end of that story right now. We saw Anthropic up on stage first, we saw OpenAI on stage, and we saw Meta on stage, really to round out the first end of that keynote. All of these companies make the largest LLMs and are training the biggest models in the world. That's great for them. Frankly, that doesn't necessarily apply to many other verticals in the enterprise outside of, say, science, research, academia, also in need of this type of compute. But I'm excited to see that business linchpin, that turning point when the momentum shifts, like you were discussing earlier, and we see those solutions.
Yeah, well, one of the points someone made on stage, I can't remember who, was that SLMs, small language models, are kind of the future. We've got our big LLMs, but you want to fine tune, you need the small language models. So it would have been nice to see, say, a company up there who's building SLMs for healthcare or legal or retail, right? And the things that they're thinking of doing. So that was certainly a big miss, I think, from AMD, and something that would have been nice to do that. And we've become accustomed to that at GTC, right? Eli Lilly's on stage, things like that. And so
you even see it at Dell Tech World. You'll see Chase on stage, JP Morgan Chase. You see a lot of different applications. You see robots on stage at a lot of these shows, and you're seeing a little bit of that on the show floor. I think what's happening here is a bit of a momentum awareness from AMD. They've historically been a little quieter on the marketing side when it goes to being front and center, at least on Main Street's mind. They're obviously a player on Wall Street. Can't be anything but with 145% lift this year.
Well, for the longest time, they were the second fiddle to Intel. Now they're the second fiddle to NVIDIA. But I think part of that is they just haven't been, as prevalent as the other companies from a thought leadership perspective.
And I would say even the folks at AMD have always impressed me with their intelligence and their architecture. I think what's missing is shouting that is the storytelling, quite frankly. I think there's a huge opportunity for AMD if they're going to play ball. If a Lisa keynote is going to be compared to a Jensen or a Bill keynote or one of these flashier keynotes that we see, you want to have those stories that people turn around and talk about at happy hour. The specs and the acronym for the particular piece of hardware will change and expire in the next 90 days. I'm looking for those lasting applications of we've been able to increase research time or decrease research time by a year for PhDs or whatever that might be. And granted, I know I'm biased to that, but I think that I'm hoping that AMD takes this opportunity, this splash on the market that they're having to really infiltrate and curate those stories from the outside.
Actually, now that I think about it, other than the little vignette at the beginning, did any of the speakers talk about any use case? I don't remember.
Not a single one.
Not a single one. Okay,
the only time there was anything mentioned that was even remotely a use case was the term scientific research when it came to talking about Helios as a research engine, which is very true and applicable, but it was never research in healthcare or research in fintech or drug development or whatever it might be. And I just think they're right on the edge of that story. I think AMD is flexing huge, like you said, a bold keynote when it comes to building hardware that comes to play, building compute that wants to be best in breed and best in industry. I am still thirsty for the stories that actually illustrate what that means for the companies leveraging their machines.
Well, aren't we all?
Exactly.
Right. So
bring it to us.
I will say that it seems like this weekend, because NVIDIA announced an update to Avira earlier obviously with the show coming, they wanted the world to know that there are CPUs too. But we are seeing a bit of a rebound of the CPU. I think the CPU was very much a forgotten about piece of technology. as the
Yeah.
world went crazy for GPUs.
100%.
Right, but
Yeah,
I do think now the CPUs has a little bit of a comeback here.
Well, we're realizing that it's going to take a mix of compute, that
Yeah.
it's not going to be homogeneous compute solutions for everyone. Every company is going to have different layers to that stack. That was one of my, when I look at what the winners today were from the keynote, systems was actually my number one. And that's systems of architecture. That's CPUs, GPUs, NPUs. It's whatever chips, TPUs. It's whatever acronym and chipset that you want within your rack. But having that system dynamics, having interoperability between the different tools that people are using, having some of these hardwares and architectures play nice as a long-term solution for the enterprise, I think is going to be really important. Yeah, CPUs also on my list. So I had systems, CPUs, the LLM company is very clearly winners today, since they were pretty much the only thing
They've been
featured
a winner
on,
for the last 5 years.
on stage.
Yeah.
I really do think we will tire of that, though. There's so much that's going to happen with small models and at the edge. And yeah, interoperability was definitely key. I think one thing that's been a resounding shift across the industry in the last couple of years has been the desire for collaboration. Lots of companies partnering and working together right now that never were, including competitors in certain areas, understanding they need to come together for certain solutions.
I'll be curious as to when because AMD really touts openness and partnerships, that matters. Because if you look at the early days of technology cycles, I'll go back to cloud. Nobody knew how to deploy a private cloud, and so companies started creating these reference architectures for fully validated turnkey solutions, right? And you could argue that, nobody does that better than NVIDIA right now. They put a system together for everything. But what that does is it gives the companies deploying it comfort that this is going to work. So as soon as I go the partnership route, now I'm bringing in a lot more variables that can lead to things that don't work as well. Now, I think over time, customers do defer to the open system because they want a lot of choice, things like that. And if you look in cloud, nobody buys a turnkey solution today because we know how to deploy it.
Right.
But it takes a good 3 to 5 years for us to get to that point. And so, while all the things that AMD's espousing today, I think will matter, I don't think it matters today.
I think that's accurate. I think that Lisa actually even touched on that a bit by talking about, nobody wants to talk about the past because we're all building the future.
Yeah.
I think this was a show off of everything that's future. Certain shipping dates a little mysterious, as they tend to be with certain products shown on stage today, but that's natural. I think what we can say with confidence is that we are going to be seeing companies still race to have the highest performing, highest compute solutions out there on the market. I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon. I think we can say with confidence companies are going to be competing for not just that high compute workload, but also for our large language training workload, but for smaller, more CPU friendly activities, which is across the board. And I think that my hot take is that we still don't know exactly where the strongest rivers of ROI are going to be at scale yet with this technology, which is why we still talk in these abstractions.
Yeah, and I think whenever I talk to organizations about what they're doing with AI, everyone's interested in it, but finding actual deployments where they're, everyone's using, agentic agents to make decisions, those use cases are still, for the most part, non-existent. So, but we'll learn and they'll come. So, but overall, I thought it was a good showing for AMD. I do think the world needs a strong number two.
Yeah.
It helps push the number one. And I think they've, certainly made their case that from an innovation perspective, they're right there with their bigger brother.
Absolutely. Agree with that. Agree with that wholeheartedly. Love seeing a woman up there on stage. Would have loved to see more women up there on stage instead of just a slew of men. Always a little bit disappointing to sit in the audience, especially when these use cases will affect all genders equally on this planet. So I'm looking forward to the conference where we get to sit down and we're debating which cool story we heard on stage that we want to talk about, because there were so many amazing examples of how technology is positively impacting our communities.
And the lack of women speakers, that's not just here, that's across tech. So for the whole vendor community out there, you got to get better with that.
Yeah. And, if you're looking for a female to host your show or to come give you some hot analysis, you know where to find me.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
I just want to say thanks. It's always a joy to see you at shows.
It is. Yeah.
And I'm excited to see AMD coming out and showing. They've been, like I said, a little bit of a quiet achiever, in my opinion, and I'm looking forward to their elevated storytelling.
Yeah, and what I like about the stuff you're doing, you really are trying to look at the societal impact of the technology, and that's something I've been trying to do more of, because quite frankly, if we're creating all this innovation and it's not helping us societally, then what's the point? We can only raise guidance and raise stock price so many times. Eventually it's got to matter, right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
So on behalf of Savannah Peterson, I'm Zeus Kerravala from ZK Reaches, and thanks for watching. Give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time on the next episode of ZKast. And in the meantime, look up Savvy.
Cheers.